All right, y'all. I know I'm missing baseball. I'm sure you're missing baseball. So today we're going to talk about some playoff baseball and an at-bat I had against Aaron Judge in the 2017 ALDS. So without further ado, let's go.
I call this crisscrossing the corner. You know, tunneling is a crazy concept. There's no way a big leaguer swings at that. If this ball's 1-7, he absolutely crushes it. Boom, that's the breaking point.
All right, jumping right in. Let's let this play through first, and then we'll analyze it. There's a little treat at the end for you guys. And we got a couple overlays. Okay, so this is the first at bat. As you can see, it is the first inning down there in the corner. So I left this on the screen because Aaron Judge is coming off a fantastic rookie season. Hit a lot of homers, a lot of RBIs, slugged a lot, high average, had a great year. Obviously proved out to be a very, very good hitter. Sometimes when rookies come up, they have really good years and then they kind of fade off. Hasn't been the case with Aaron. So just wanted to kind of give you some context about the type of hitter that I'm preparing for going into this game. Next thing that we know is our scouting report going in is if you're going to throw to Aaron, you need to throw fastballs here if you're going to throw them. Anything else, and then you need to throw breaking balls over in this area here. Anything other than that, he hits. So any breaking ball that ends up in this location, he's crushing. Any fastball that ends up out in this location over here, kind of middle of the plate, crushing. Not hitting balls down, painted down and away super well. And you can kind of get fastballs up here above his barrel a little bit. But basically, anything in the zone is dangerous. So going into this at bat, that's kind of what I have in mind. I do want to get ahead, though, because I know when I get ahead, the numbers against my breaking ball for him this year went way down. So the plan going into this game was to basically just throw him as many breaking balls as possible to get him out. So the first pitch, and this is actually one of the games that I executed the best. If I think back about execution in my career, this one has to be right up there. So we'll draw a little circle around Berto's glove, and then we play the first pitch out. And that's going right for where Berto's glove was. So I execute this pitch, and he smokes it. Ball's smashed, just foul. This tells me a lot about what's going to happen the rest of the game because he goes up there and he's aggressive. I didn't know if he was going to take the first pitch, swing it. I didn't know what he was going to do because he's not. He doesn't swing a ton or not swing a ton. He's kind of a middle of the road. On first pitch swing percentage. So he comes up there and he absolutely hammers a ball just foul. This is the first game of the series, his first swing, the first pitch he saw this series, and he's aggressive. Gets fully extended on this, smokes it right on time, hits a missile foul. I mean, Jose can barely move at third and the ball's already by him. All right, so that tells me a lot. What do I do next? Well, I can go slower and go back to the breaking ball, but I know I want to get him out with breaking balls. So I don't want to go to that too soon, so I choose to elevate a little bit and see where he's at. If he's going to continue to be aggressive, maybe I can get him to chase a pitch that's up out of the zone. Maybe I can get a swing through, a pop-up. If nothing else, I'm showing him that I'm not just showing him this spot. I'm actually going to try to attack him in this area here. So that's the thought process on this pitch. We go up above the zone, and we see he's kind of hanging in here. He hangs in a little bit late, and then he gets this kind of surprised, this straightening up of the posture. Okay, so now we're 1-1, but I've kind of accomplished my purpose. I've thrown one in here and I've thrown one up here. I've shown him that I'm going to attack him hard up and in. So in his head, I'm kind of drawing his attention to this location. That's what I'm thinking, and hopefully that's kind of what he's thinking. If nothing else, I've definitely drawn his attention to north of this line, and you'll see that this is important as the at-bat progresses. So now we're 1-1, and I decide to throw him a curveball. I actually execute this curveball really well. This whole at-bat I executed almost perfectly. One of the few times I can actually say that. But you see this leg kick he has here. He's hanging. You see the same type of, looking kind of this way. And instead of straightening up at this point, because the fastball ends up here, he's right on time, gets the foot down, and he takes this swing at it. Now, he's on time for this, for the most part. I think it might be a little bit early, actually. But he sees this pitch very well. He just kind of runs out of bat. He's a little bit early, and you can see where his barrel gets to here. His barrel only makes it to about here in the strike zone. So that's why, the off-speed pitches over here are more effective against him, especially if they start. If the off-speed pitch starts somewhere in here, this is what he's looking to key on. Flat breaking balls that kind of end up in this location, or fastballs that kind of end up in that location. So if you can start an off-speed pitch in the middle location and run it this way, then what you see with his hip, this early, so the foot gets down right here, and immediately this hip is going out this way. He does a really good job of maintaining his torso stack and his separation. You can see the hips are opening up. You can see these lines on his shirt here because his torso is closed and his hips are open. So that's one of the ways he generates so much power, is he creates a lot of separation in his hips there. But you can see this hip shoot out towards the dugout early. And so this is one of the reasons that he kind of runs, let me clear off this. He kind of runs out of barrel, is what we call it, out here on the outer part of the plate. Again, his barrel only gets to about that line. And so this curveball is slow and down below the zone. Again, going into the at-bat, we know that if we can get off-speed pitches over here and we can get fastballs kind of up in this area, we can beat him. So both of those have, well, the fastball hasn't really played out. It didn't beat him. He smoked one that was here. We just got lucky that it went foul. But we definitely beat him on this pitch with the curveball. You can see, typical stuff when a person's early and they're fooled. You get this, the foot, the knee, everything kind of rolling out towards that side of the field. But another thing to look at here is, if you draw this line from the batter's box coming this way, his feet are kind of coming out this way. So he's definitely looking to open up in the direction of these arrows. The feet kind of open up, the hips kind of open up, and that's why anything that he sees that ends up, any kind of middle speed breaking ball that ends up in this location is just absolutely death, because he opens everything up, he's on time for it, and his barrel, if you watch where his barrel comes through, look, his barrel is just right in that zone. He's fully extended here, and middle speed pitches that end up here get hit for homers 52 times this year. Not all of those were breaking balls, but that's why that position for him specifically is dangerous for breaking balls. So anyway, we get a swing on this. He's out in front, but again, I think he saw this pitch pretty well. He's kind of hanging and he takes a good swing at it. He's just a little bit out in front of it. But there was no, this is a pretty, to me, I think he recognizes this pitch a little bit. He just couldn't hit it. So now 1-2, again, I want to disguise kind of what I'm going after him with, considering that it is the first at bat of the game, and I might have to get him out 3 times this game, and it's the first game of the series in a 5-game series. I know a lot of people are going to be attacking him with breaking balls in this area, so I was doing my best to kind of show him up here to make him conscious of it to lead into the rest of the series. So we go up here and we almost get a swing. We definitely get the torso opening up. He recognized that this was a fastball, but he just saw something that would look like this that he swung at that ended up down here. And this is why I had the overlays at the end of this video, because this is really what I want to talk about in this video. But we get the start here. We get the buy-in on this pitch, but he holds up. So now we're 2-2. We've gotten a swing and a hard foul ball here. We got he stood him up a little bit here. We got a swing down at the curveball over here. And then we got action, definitely wanting to swing at the fastball kind of middle up. So then, of course, we come back and we follow this up with a curveball. And now he takes it Berto catches this ball very well. I know I talk about this a lot, but watch Berto's glove beat the ball. Right here, his glove is already below the level of the ball. So then the next frame, when he catches this ball, he's already bringing this up. Some catchers you see, when this relationship between the glove and the ball reverses, and the ball is at this level, and the ball's at this level, but the glove is up here, then when you go to catch the ball, the glove is moving this way, and it drags this pitch, which is a borderline strike. Could be a ball, could be a strike. StatCast has it probably a strike. If you look at it here, maybe, who knows, but it's borderline, right? But if your glove is here and the ball is below it, you drag this pitch downward. If your glove is here and the ball is above it, you can be moving the glove upward when you catch it, and that drags this ball back up into the strike zone. And so we get this call, umpire strikes him out, and it's like, there's that close pitch, but he got me. But why? The real question is why. So we go first pitch is here, he smokes it. Next pitch we throw up here, and then we throw this curveball down here that we get the swing at. And I want you to look. This is the second pitch fastball that's up here, and the third pitch curveball that we get a swing on that's down and away. Look at these pitches. Look how similarly they're tracking out of the hand. Now the video doesn't line up. You can see my arms here versus there. So we're at slightly different times in the video, but by the time the ball gets in the air, it's pretty close. But look how little difference there is in these balls. Very little. They're following at least the same trajectory. This fastball is going up. It's here. It's here. It's here. So you can see the general trend of this fastball is going up, and it ends, so this is kind of on this line, and it ends up here. If you watch the same thing with the curveball, and I'll do it in a different color so we can track both of them. Curveball's here, next frame, it's up, next frame, it's here, and now we start to get the bite of the curveball as it starts breaking down. But look how far towards the plate these pitches are and how little difference there is in the trajectory of them. They're both initially starting on this upward plane. And then the curveball, as you can see on the screen here, has the hump in it, and it ends up here, and the fastball ends up here. So we get the swing on this, and these pitches matched very closely. This is what tunneling is about. You get the high fastball and you get the curveball at the bottom of the zone. Neither of these pitches are technically strikes, but the curveball is close enough that it hides the fastball, and the fastball is close enough that it hides the curveball. So we get him kind of out of the zone both directions, again, avoiding this area that he's so hot in. Okay, so that was the second pitch fastball here, and the third pitch curveball down and away down here. Now let's run this forward. The next pitch we go to is the fourth pitch fastball that ends up up middle, and the fifth pitch curveball that ends up right down here. Again, look at the trajectory of these pitches. Up, 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 and then the curveball goes down and the fastball stays up. Look how close these are together. You have curveball. Let's go back a frame. So this is the curveball. Let's track this. Here's third frame, fourth frame. So this is still going up. Now it flattens out a little bit. Now it starts on the way down. And if we track the fastball, you have the fastball here going up, up, up. Now the curveball's starting to flatten out, but the fastball's still going up, up. And then you can see these things really split off in the amount of difference, not only in speed. You know, Berto catches the fastball now, and the curveball is 1, 2, 3 frames, maybe 4 frames, somewhere in there before Berto catches it. So there's a tremendous amount of speed difference. But if you watch these trajectories, they look very close. So it's hard for a hitter to identify him, we're getting the benefit of looking at this in slow motion and overlaid. But he just saw a pitch that was fast that went here. And then the next pitch that he sees is a pitch that's a little bit slower, but it still happens very fast, and it goes here. And so this little bit of difference, this little bit of pop is enough, it's little enough that basically these pitches are in a tunnel almost halfway to the plate. Let's count how many frames. You got till the fastball hits the glove. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 frames. So if we're in the tunnel for 5 frames, we're halfway to the plate. So let's see these things here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that they're still going up, 6, 7 before you start to see the real difference, maybe 8 frames before you start to see the real difference in the curveball height going down. And so I basically repeated this exact sequence. I just bounced back and forth. After the first fastball that we threw here that he had a chance on and he smoked, we went fastball, pitch 2, curveball, pitch 3. Fastball, pitch 4, curveball, pitch 5. Almost in the exact same locations. And so I was just wearing out this one tunnel. So he's seen this 4 times, but 2 of them have ended up fastballs up and 2 of them ended up curveballs down, and he doesn't know what to swing at. He's confused. The first one, he sees his fastball up, he takes it. The next pitch, he sees the curveball, he swings. Then he sees the fastball up after the curveball and wants to swing but lays off. So now in his head, he's like, man, I swung at this one down here. That next pitch that he threw me looked really similar, so now I don't know which one to swing at and not. And so he sees the next pitch, that's the curveball that strikes him out, and it looks the same, and then it goes down and he freezes. So we don't get the same action that we got on the second curveball. So if we go back, if you watch the action here, there's very little trigger. He identifies it and he stops. Look at this swing here, the body language. Very calm, not a whole lot of trigger. Verse, let's go, where are we at here? Verse the second fastball. Here's the second fastball. Look how calm this body language is. And then he gets a little bit up out of the way, but the same type of body language here. Same type of very calm, he's reading the pitch, and now he gets out of the way. Same thing that he did on this curveball, the last pitch that he took. It's very calm, he's reading, and now instead of getting out of the way, because the ball's away, he just freezes. But that's very different than the body language we get here on this fastball, and the body language we get here on this curveball. Oops, went the wrong way. And the body language we get here, so we get this swing, we get this almost swing, so now he's seen that tunnel, and now he comes back and doesn't know which one it is, assumes that it's that high fastball again, because this is why you start in here and you go back in here, because now he's thinking you've drawn his attention to this area. Then you go up here, so now he's seen 3 fastballs up here, thinking, oh, they might be trying to get me out up there. So now he sees the pitch that looks like it's going to finish up out of the zone. He freezes, and we get the strikeout. This is what tunneling can do for you. This is why it's important to live in a tunnel, to know what your tunnel is, and to be able to execute it. This is a 2-pitch at bat. I have 5 pitches this game going for me. Fastball, 4-seam, 2-seam, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. But I only needed 2 pitches to create this amount of confusion. So that's really what I wanted this to be about, is the tunneling, how to use it, how it's effective, and why you got the reaction that you did from Aaron in this at bat. To his credit, he comes back and he actually hits me fairly well. He gives me pretty good at bats. And obviously a tremendous hitter, but I just happened to nail every single spot that I was going for in this at bat, and so I win. I don't always do that. I very rarely actually hit 5 spots in a row. So some of you guys have asked about at bats that I dominated and why. I dominated this at bat against a really, really good hitter. I just happened to be really good in this at bat too, and so this is what makes baseball fun. You get to be really good against a really good guy and see who comes out on top. Ultimately, he got the last laugh because they came back from 2-0 down and beat us in 5 games in advance to play the cheating Astros in the next round. But that's a whole different story that I've talked about plenty. Anyway, that's today's episode. So let me know what you guys think of it. Any other at-bats that you want to see, leave me a comment. Hit that like button. Sure would help me out a lot. And if any of your friends don't know about this channel yet, if they haven't seen it, do me a favor and tell them about it. Got a goal of getting to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, so it'd really help me out if you share this. And yeah, that's all. Have a good one.